She could have dealt with it. The daughter could have actually gone through and said, oh, it's fraud. And, you know, said, oh, my mum did it. She could have done that.
But then obviously your mum gets in trouble.
Exactly. That's why she didn't do it.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. But such is life. We live and we learn. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about finances, all things money. It's something that I've literally been waiting to do because I feel like it's a topic that we shy away from, and it's absolutely imperative in our lives to get our finances right. And because I'm by no means an expert, I have my opinions about stuff. I decided to bring some experts in who can not just help you, but help me get some of the things I've been doing wrong right, and just get my money in order. So today I've got Natalie.
Hi guys, my name's Natalie from Natalie Scott Empowers, and I'm a money mindset and savings coach.
And we've also got Mr. Fola over here.
Hi guys, my name's Fola. I'm a financial consultant. Sterling's Financial Solutions is my company.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go straight into today's topic. Okay guys, so the first question I have for you guys, and it's something that I talk about a lot, is why money is a difficult topic to talk about, especially in the black community.
I think it's because in the black community we're not really taught about money, but I think it's wider than that. We're not taught it from schools, in our education, so therefore we just have to kind of trial and error everything. And to be honest, some of us are getting it wrong, but are we going to admit that we're getting it wrong? We're just going to keep getting it wrong. So again, it's pride. So therefore we don't discuss it. We want to make everyone think that we know what we're doing even when we're not.
Whew, that's so true.
You know, got to hit them with the truth.
Definitely. So I'll agree with everything Natalie said, especially the pride thing. I mean, a lot of people, they want to understand money, but they don't want to reach out to people to ask for help. The lack of understanding of money is the real problem, because
100%.
a lot of people don't want to have a conversation about something they don't really understand. But you should be proactive. If you don't understand something, that should make you want to understand it, especially if it's something important like money. You know what I mean?
That's true. But the thing is that, don't you feel like not understanding should be the reason why you seek for help?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, 100%.
You can't just say, "Oh, this is difficult. I'm just going to ignore this." If it's something like money, everyone can agree. Like, it's a very important.
But because it's something that hasn't been taught, we haven't been brought up with it, unlike our counterparts. We almost feel obviously scared to reach out. We're like, oh, if we ask and talk about money, are people going to look at us like, well, you should know. It's like the unknown. You don't talk about it, you just get on with it. And that's obviously detrimental to our community.
It is, because I feel like that definitely hinders us from progressing as a community, because we don't make smart money moves. And if we don't talk about it, if we don't address it, I think it's going to become a detrimental problem, and it's going to consistently hinder us progressing as a people. So what do you think we can do actually to confront that? What do you think we could do to deal with that?
Just face your problems head on, first of all. That's first thing to any problem is just to admit that there is a problem. That's the first step. That's the first step, because we've got to do it in steps, haven't we? So admit that there is a problem, face your problem head on, and ask for help. There is a lot of information available. There's a lot of people that want to help. So
that's very true.
For me, I don't think there's any excuse anymore. No. Especially after what's happened. I mean, I feel like everyone's just been given a sort of like a crash course, like, yo, I need to
money's important.
Money's important.
With COVID,
there's no trying to shy away from it anymore. You know what I mean?
I feel like COVID has taught us a lot, because as soon as the pandemic came, I think that's when people realised, oh my gosh, I have to start talking about money, because either I don't have it, I need to get it, where do I apply? So it's like we're forced to have these conversations, and I'm glad that we're having it, because it's been a long time coming. Definitely. It's just sad that it's come out of this, but it's come on nonetheless, I guess. So
we're thankful for that.
That's the important thing.
So, okay, knowing that, we need to talk about it, the fact that there's a wealth of financial knowledge available out there, how do you decipher what is the good thing, what is the bad thing? Because again, one of the things I know is when I was doing a lot of educating myself in terms of finances, a lot of the things that I saw was very tailored to the American society. And that was one of the reasons when I reached out to both parties that are here today, one of the things that I'm like, what actually applies to us in the UK? Because a lot of people in America that I saw, they were like, be debt free, a credit score doesn't matter, it's the money in your account that matters. But over here, I know that not just your credit, not just you having money in the bank matters, your credit score definitely plays a key role to you being able to get other things and acquire some level of wealth. So what's your take on that?
Well, what I would say first off, if you want to find anything out there, you know how to go looking for it. Because if we talk about like a favorite pair of shoes or a designer, you would know how to find it.
Net-a-Porter.
Right? And if they haven't got your shoe on Net-a-Porter, you might try Matches, Farfetch. And it's the same with money. In my own journey, I had to find out the information for myself. There was a lot of time like, on Google, going through stuff, picking up books and just finding out who people are and whether they will market to me. Obviously, you're very correct in saying about the American market, it is oversaturated and sometimes it can be really hard to get the UK stuff out of there. But you will definitely find it. And social media, although we love to hate it, social media is a great starting place as well because there's so many different people. All you have to do is search a hashtag, you know, UK
That's so true.
or something.
That's so true.
There's no excuse.
That's so true. What do you think about that, Fola?
First thing for me personally that I had to do was learn how to debunk from the mainstream education because I studied financial economics in uni.
Same.
I feel like it was great, but it just doesn't teach you
not real
the
life.
real essence of like.
I learned so many derivatives and formulas.
Exactly. I mean, unless you're like some quantum mathematical investor, that doesn't help you in the real world. You know what I mean? So I think the first thing I needed to do was just debunk from that. Get some books you have to read. I'm sorry, but you have to do.
Give us a few of them. Let's put them in the description box below.
You have to read. For me, I think the first book anyone has to read, it's like a gateway book to finance. A lot of people might disagree, but for me, you have to read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's the first book.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the first book.
Yeah, that changes your mentality.
Yeah, I think it's the basics. I mean, after that, there's so much other better books out there, but if you're just starting off with finance, that's the first book anyone needs to read, just to realize, like, just to kind of understand how money works and how the rich don't work for money, that money works for them. Because once you understand that, you're just like, I'm clocking in all these hours.
Yeah. Exactly, to get the bank up.
I'm chasing after this money, where someone else is just allocating what they do have into certain places, and it's just working for them. It's just like. You're just like a hamster on the wheel, just going round and round and round.
So would you say that the definite thing for you to create the change you want in your finances is a mental change?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. That's the first.
They all said 100%.
100%. Like being a money mindset coach is the most important thing you have to do, because again, we can read the books, you know, we can like go on Google and take all this information, but if our mindset isn't where it needs to be, then it's literally a waste of your time. You have to start with the mindset, because that changes like everything.
Get your minds right, guys.
Also, a book that I would recommend that I read recently, although it's been out for years, is The Richest Man in Babylon by George.
Oh, I've never read that actually.
It's a really, really good book. Is it similar to Rich Dad Poor Dad in regards to like mindset? I'm not sure. I haven't read that book myself.
I haven't
read it.
No, I think it's very different. I did read them both a long time ago, to be honest. But I think it's quite different. But they're both important books. I would start with Rich Dad Poor Dad, then move on to.
Yeah, but why I like The Richest Man in Babylon simply because I always talk about pay yourself first, pay yourself first.
Yes.
That book just literally tells you pay yourself first. So it's a really good book.
Yeah.
I believe in paying yourself first. I think that's actually a key thing. Okay, I'm a Christian, so I pay my tithe first, then I pay myself. So my savings automated goes into my savings after my tithe has come out, and that's it. Okay, so I really wanted to go over your expertise and how these expertise could actually help us. So Natalie, being that you're a savings expert, what would your take be on what you do and how that could actually impact people in their day-to-day lives?
Well, what I would say, going back, it's about paying yourself first. So that's the first like pinnacle when we talk about saving. First. You have to pay yourself first. If you don't pay yourself first and you pay yourself last, then it's almost like, how do you see yourself? You know, so you have to kind of reflect. Like a lot of people, they wait until they spend everything.
And then whatever they have left.
Oh, I'm referring to my savings. Oh, so that's where you put yourself
Oh, that's a reality check right there.
That's exactly what it is. Because I talk about it all the time that, you know, you're the one waking up in the morning, you're going to work, you're commuting, you're sometimes working with people that you don't even like, you know. And then when you get paid, you get that lovely pot of money. The first thing you're thinking about, oh my gosh, got to pay bills. Oh my gosh, relax. Those things will get paid, but you need to pay yourself first. You know, get into the habit of putting yourself first, you know, and you'll never lack. So in regards to savings, some people use different systems. Like, I don't know if you heard of the 50, 30, 20 rule?
I've heard that, but I don't know much about it. Give us an example of this kind of rules.
That's probably the most generic one that I've heard. So it's like 50% is like your necessities, so like your bills, everything that runs your household basically.
So you have to make sure your 50% of your income,
your wage goes onto that. And then,
is that possible in London though? For a lot of people.
I think anything's possible, and the reason why I say this, you say this in London, but most people, especially people who are renting, 50% of their earnings probably goes onto their rent.
But sometimes I feel like it's more though. It happens.
But more than half of your salary?
I've seen a lot of people that more than half of their salary goes. In that
case then,
they need to downsize.
No. This is just not their principle. The 50, 30, 20 rule doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
But it's the most generic one out there that most people use.
Fair enough.
And then the 30% is like your wants. You know, so, oh, I want to buy that dress. I want to go out to eat. That's your 30%.
That's a healthy...
Yeah, but it's a healthy...
A bit too healthy for me.
30%. But you'd be surprised. People probably spend 50% of their wage on their wants. You know, so again, it's about...
More than that. You know?
More than that. So it's all about budgeting. And then your 20%, most people divide that 20%. 10% will go into any debt that they may have. And then the other 10% might go into savings. If they haven't got any debt, then it might be split savings investments. It all depends. Now, that's like the most generic one. Mine isn't that, because I can afford to, like, when it comes to bills or anything, that's probably 30%. Yeah. So I can do that. And then I put most of my money goes savings investment. Yeah. But I can do that. Not everybody can.
So you have to tailor it to yourself, basically.
And you've got to, like, put it in black and white. A lot of people use these apps, which are great. Like, you know, these saving apps that can, like, you know, oh, yeah, money's going here and there. Me, I'm very old school. Pen and paper, but online, like Excel spreadsheet. That's why
I live off Excel now.
That's why I had to do it. I created like a budget planner so I can see what's coming in, what's going out, and literally, and what I'm left at the end of the month. That's what I work on. And I think it's important that people have a bit of structure in their life to look at that. Because if they don't, you know, we'll be
so structure is another key thing.
Yeah.
So paying yourself first, creating a structure.
100%.
Why is that structure absolutely crucial to be in a better place financially?
Interesting. So it's almost like we've answered this question simply because if you've got no direction in your life, no structure, what happens? It crumbles. So you have to have structure in your life. I mean, some people don't want to have structure and want to do what they want, but then those are the ones that obviously struggle. You know, so you have
to. It doesn't balance out.
It doesn't balance
they need extra money.
Yeah, so you have to have structure, especially if you are renting. You know, and you might have unexpected bills. So just make sure you have money set aside for these different things.
COVID showed us that.
Yeah, you have to be. Structure is important.
So structure, I absolutely agree with the fact that you have to have a level of structure. But what happens when someone has a great amount of debt already? Right now, the person owes 30k as we speak right now. And the person is trying to obviously still pay their rent, pay their debt,
get on the phone.
All that kind of
Get on the phone. Ring up the companies that you owe money to. There's so many different... You know what, with debt in the UK, although it's very big and it's very large, there's ways to tackle it. And there's so many people and organisations out there willing to help people who are in debt. And if you've got substantial debt and it is affecting your day-to-day life, some can get written off, some can be consolidated. There's so many different ways to tackle debt. If that is not my expertise, but I just know so many people come to me about that. But there's so much resources out there available for people that have that.
But then again, being the fact that we're talking about being in a better place financially, some of those companies don't they then affect you? So you have to. Is it like a set amount of time you have to wait to be able to build your credit back?
I mean, it does take time, but the fact is you've taken the most important step and you've
been active and conscious about your money.
You're calling up these companies, you're telling them, oh, can you freeze the interest? Like, what can you do for me? Oh, this is how much I can pay each month. So it's about making yourself comfortable. The worst thing you can do is say, oh yeah, I can pay that. And you're like, oh my God, I can't.
And you don't know how you're going to be able to afford it.
You be honest. That's what I say. You look at your income. Everyone knows what comes in. Most people don't know what's coming out. And that's the problem. Especially if you have like one income, you know what's coming in, right? So it's not knowing what's going out. So you really need to be honest with yourself and look at what's coming out. And if you've got loads of debt, see if there's anything you can cancel, you can pause. Okay, how am I going to pay this back? And get on the phones and start ringing up the companies.
Of course, sometimes you touch on something as well. Besides dealing with those head on, because sometimes we just kind of like, it comes out, and the sheet doesn't balance, and there's nothing I can do about it. So actually seeking some help would be absolutely key to what you're saying.
Like what we spoke about before, about not seeking help.
Pride. Again, we're going back to pride. Another thing is like, what do you think about a lot of, you talked about the 30% in the generic placement of money being on luxuries. Don't you think that there should be a way to downsize some of those luxuries?
100%. So you mean like
save more?
Oh yeah, exactly. This is why it's very generic. I don't subscribe to that. It's very generic. Like for me, I don't really buy that much. Although I like nice things. I've got clothes.
I learned from Natalie. She said never buy anything full price.
And I don't ever buy anything full price. And that's just because I'm well connected. If I want something, I'm not buying full price. If it's designer, I'm not paying full price for it. I'm not
never buy anything full price, guys.
I went on a shopping ban in 2019, so that whole year I didn't buy anything.
Wow.
The whole year. And it was I thought it was going to be hard, but it wasn't.
My heart is hurt.
And I felt so good after. And all the money that I saved so much money. I had you set yourself little goals to save X amount by the end of the year, and you saved it by September. You're like, it's happened already. So I think that's important.
I've got a hack. Don't buy as much designer brands and just support your friends' brands. A lot of people are bringing up clothing. Right now I'm wearing my boys' tee. It's Beyond 92.
Love
we're gonna put that on the tag there.
So yeah, Beyond 92 on Instagram. You can find him. He's got loads of nice designs. Because if this top was Givenchy, it'd probably be.
You know what? I kind of thought it was a designer tee.
Probably be like 400 quid or something.
It's ridiculous.
I think I paid him £50 or £40 or something like that.
Imagine, and the print looks good. It looks good in real life too.
Just men's. I
think it's men's.
Exactly. No, it's a t-shirt. I wear that t-shirt like
women
now.
wear men's t-shirts all the time.
Nice.
So
nice.
to
No,
me,
but
men's clothing
crazy.
is unisex.
Yeah.
It's women's clothing that's obviously not unisex.
That's crazy. You know, actually, going on topic a bit, one of the things that I realized is the fact that the designer stuff is exactly the same cotton they're using. It's not even like they're using Egyptian cotton and the t-shirts and that, where you're paying 10 times more. That's mad.
So when you're paying like £349 for a t-shirt that says Saint Laurent, that's it. I'm like, huh? Make it make sense.
Coming up next on the Money Matters series,
£500,000 for literally box flats and stuff
in London.
So, like,
we shall not be victims. I mean, that can make you get money.
Yeah, because let's be honest, man. Girls are tired of broke guys, and guys are tired of broke guys.
If you ain't got no money, take a broke ass home.
Let's be honest. Like, from £1, like literally, because I always say it's a common saying, but not a lot of people have heard it. Nobody ever got rich by saving. It's literally impossible. Do you know what I mean? Like.
Thank you so much for watching the Money Matters series. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe.